We fed you already. Cat stared at, coming in here, looking up at me and said, where my food at? You know where the food is. You know, the cat's food can be in the bowl, but your cat wants you to go through the motions of putting the food in the bowl. It's like, look, I know the food's in the bowl, but I got to keep you trained. You got to understand that when I come to this bowl, I want you to bend over. I want you to kowtow and serve the cat food.
Cat-tow.
I want you to cat-tow and serve you that cat food. I know there's still food in the bowl.
Oh, they always want you to top it off with fresh food.
Yeah, there you go. It's like being in a restaurant. Can I top off your coffee, sir? And it's like, you know, be like this with your waitress. Be like, the waitress be like, you still got coffee in your cup. It's like, no, I want you to top it off. I want some hot coffee. Cat be the same way. I want some fresh cat food on top of the cat food that's just sitting in my bowl. You'll learn. I'm not that obnoxious when I go into a restaurant. I don't be like this with my waiter. All right. How y'all doing? Thanks for joining me for Bible trips.
Jodan!
Uh-oh. Is Mr. Gorman into his
Yes!
What's up? You big country? Jodan, the hillbilly heart throb. Heart throb. Oh man, I messed up your nickname, man. Dang. I'm glad you could join us, man. God bless you. All right. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, how you guys doing? Where are we at? Let's do this. It's already Sunday. Weekend's already today went by like stupid fast.
Yes.
Man. It's like I hope. Well, you know, maybe that's a sign that maybe the week will go by just as fast. But you know what? Actually, I don't mind days being slow, even if it's during the week.
Amen.
Y'all be probably like, oh man, you crazy. I can't wait for the day to be over. It's like, man, time just seems to be going by so fast. And it's like, hey, it'd be kind of cool if this stuff slows down. But hey, if we're speeding towards, Jesus making that call for us to go party with him in the air, you know, hey, well, you know, Jesus, go ahead and do your thing, and you can accelerate that clock if you want to.
Please.
You know, it's like, or somebody, you know, even Jesus, like, look, man, Jesus be like, I don't know when I'm going to be sent to, like, you know, come and get you guys, okay? I'm coming at some point. So you just sit tight, you know, but hey, maybe, you know, times are speeding up towards that.
Stacy Lee Roberts joined. Yay!
Howdy, Stacy. Yes. All right, man. Y'all ready to rock some fellowship? Can you
CJ
dig
Rachel.
it? CJ. Yeah.
Hi, Del Mitchell.
I like her. All right. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we're going to finish up with we were at 11, Luke 11. Part 2. Let's see what we can get out of Luke 11, her. All right. You ready? You guys got your drink?
What verse are you starting on?
I'm going to start on 37, 11:37. I got my coffee. I promise it's only coffee.
And it's decaf.
You
can't tell, but
I do decaf in the evenings, you know.
You're still amped up on decaf.
Yeah. It's that Jesus Java. That's why I'm able to do it. All right. Okay. So 11:37. As he was speaking, talking about Jesus. As he was speaking, and you guys should know, if you guys were here last time, right? So you guys know where I'm picking up from. Okay. So as he was speaking, a Pharisee asked him to dine with him. Yo, Jesus, man, come over to my crib, man, for some burgers and some brats, and you know, and we'll chop it up. Come on over, man. We'll have a barbecue. And so he went and he reclined at the table. I like that, man. It's like Jesus chilling.
He's always reclining.
Right? He's always reclining at the table. What's up, man? Why you trying to butter me up, man? What you feed me for, man? I see through you, man. Okay. So Jesus is chilling. He's just reclining at the table. When the Pharisee saw this, he was amazed that he did not first perform the ritual washing. So this is one of those instances where the Pharisee is looking at Jesus sideways. Be like, man, you didn't even wash your hands. I heard you come out of the bathroom. I didn't hear you flush the toilet or nothing. You know, it's like, it's like, you be talking how you see through people. I see through you, Jesus. It's like, look. And Jesus is like, haha, that's very funny. I was hoping that you would notice that you didn't see me perform the traditional ritual washing. I was hoping that you would pick up on that, because now I'm going to use this opportunity to teach you something. So here it is. He's talking about how Jesus didn't wash his hands. Then it goes on to say, but the Lord said to him, now you Pharisees clean the outside of your cup and dish, but inside you're full of greed and evil. So Jesus is like, look, man, why are you talking about how I didn't perform the ritual washing? I'm noticing there's still food around here, some lipstick on my cup. You serving dirty dishes, man. You don't sterilize this stuff for nothing. And you gonna talk to me? It's like, look, man, I need to talk to you about your hygiene. You're not a very hospitable person. So this is one of those instances where somebody is trying to, pull the splinter out of Jesus's eye, while they need to yank that plank out of their own eye. So Jesus, once again, he's taking this opportunity to call them out on their hypocrisy, because this is all legalistic. It has nothing to do with salvation. It has nothing to do with spiritualism. It really doesn't have anything to do with, not much to do with morality in the sense of genuine concern. You often hear people say that, you can't legislate morality, even though all laws are pretty much have, a basis in some sort of moral, when it comes to that culture or whoever wants to be in power. What is it exactly that they're basing these morals on? Right. Is very, presumptuous. But the bottom line is that, there is something that they think that people should do, and they think that this is moral, and they're going to impose this so-called morality as a law. But what Jesus is talking about is like, look, man, I don't want you to be legalistic about this. I want you to actually have a heartfelt concern of why you do these things. If you're gonna serve me on a dish, I would hope that you clean it, because you actually because of love and concern, that you want to present me with a clean dish. But if you're doing it just because the law says so, it's like, man, we're going to have a pretty cold and sterile society for that. It's not going to be a warm society. It's going to be a very, unapproachable, cold society that lives, that just assumes that the law is going to make us, behave right around people, And, we need laws. Don't get me wrong, y'all. We need laws, but we need good law. And how good law is instituted and how good law is maintained is when people actually abide by the law, or abide by the boundaries of each other, show respect out of a sense of, being neighborly, brotherhood, sisterhood, love, That's how you have, a flourishing society, really.
Yeah, the law doesn't work without love.
Yeah, what God is talking about, where Jesus is coming from, the law really is love. But no matter what the law is, it's still going to be a choice to abide by.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. As we are governed by our consent.
Yep.
You actually have to have a desire, a heart to actually want to obey the law. Resist bad law. Call out bad law and obey good law.
Please.
All right. So with here, where they're coming from is you got Jesus who didn't do this washing. And once again, he wants them to reflect on it. It's like, look, man, this hand washing stuff that you're talking about, or this ritual washing that you're talking about, man, that's legalistic. It's traditional. And though it may, on outward appearance, look good, it doesn't make you a better person. It's like you're thinking that it's somehow that this makes you a good person somehow, that there's this merit to what you're doing. That's an outward appearance, man. That doesn't mean that you really accepted God into your heart or anything like that. This isn't like if anything, it's like it's a superficial baptism. You don't even really mean anything. Okay, I'm gonna immerse, I'm gonna do some little bit of water, here, and do my little ritual washing and stuff like that, and it's just lip service, man. It's it doesn't really mean anything. And you guys are taking it as if it makes you a better person or something like that. It doesn't. Your inside is dirty. It's dirt. You're a dirty person. Okay? So now you Pharisees clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside you are full of greed and evil. And he's saying this because you guys how we see Jesus goes in and has and throws down because the money changers. These temple taxes that they be taking, and they're taken in, but they're not giving the people anything. They're selling people on this merit base works. You know, this it's or this legalism that they're selling them on, but they're not really selling them on what God actually really wants for them. And Jesus sees this as evil. He sees this as greed. You're taking people's money and you want to take more and more and give less and less, if anything at all. You're just giving, all you're giving is just fanciful words, and you're giving you're selling your image about how well you assume to know the law and how people should respect you. That's what you're selling to the people. Other than that, you're not really selling them anything that's going to get them one step closer inside the kingdom. Yeah. And that's a tragedy. And Jesus, he ain't happy about this. All right. So from there, he said, and then, what does Jesus say? Fools. Fools. Jesus ready. He's ready to regulate. He's sitting. He's reclining at the table. He's getting like Scarface on him, man. It's like, look, I'm getting ready to talk gang of smack right now in your house
with my dirty hands.
Yeah, with my dirty hands. Okay, I'm in your house, and I'm getting ready to start some ish. Okay, it's like I'm not here to be politically correct. I'm not here to be polite. Hey man, technically this is my house anyway. It's all mine. And I'm going to tell you like it is.
This isn't hippie Jesus.
This ain't no hippie Jesus. Okay. So he says, so fools, didn't he who made the outside make the inside too? But give to charity what is within, and then everything is clean for you. So it's like he's telling us, like, look, man, you guys are assuming to know so much about the law, but you guys really don't consider who it is who gives the law. You're really not taking that into consideration, and you're assuming that as if like God don't know, that God can't tell the difference between your outward appearances and your legalism. You think he can't tell the difference? He can see right into you. He's like a computer program who can look right into the code, and see what's going on. He can see all the he can see any discrepancies, guys. He can see wrong registries and stuff like that. He can see that stuff. So it's like you ain't pulling one over on God.
He can see your thoughts.
Yeah, I can see what you're thinking. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You're projecting, honey.
Leave me alone. Let's see. Now from there it says, but give to charity what is within, and then everything is clean for you. Okay, and you know the thing is, I just saw this meme. I could probably pull it back up. It's where these liberals try to make these memes, and they try to show an image of Jesus. And it'll say like, hey, Republicans, maybe you didn't catch that part where Jesus said to give to the poor and help the sick and with healthcare and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, no, maybe you didn't catch the part where Jesus says this is supposed to be charity, not law. Once you make it law, it is no longer charity. Do you understand that? So Jesus is saying, I want you to give from the heart. I want you, if you're going to help people, I don't want it to be because the government came in and says, do this or you're going to go to jail. So there's a huge difference, because once you do that, you've taken the love element out of it. You've taken the personal responsibility out of it. You have no volition in it of your own. That's what liberals don't seem to understand. They think that you're supposed to do this by law. It's like, no, it's not supposed to be done by law. That totally negates what charity is. Yeah. And not only that, it reduces the ability to be charitable.
Amen. Yes, it does.
It messes things up. If you are going to allow, you want to have this society where the people flourish, and if I may take this opportunity to give a basic insight into what capitalism is, because I think a lot of conservatives do a disservice as to what capitalism is, because too many conservatives, they make it easy for liberals to judge conservatives and capitalism, because conservatives are out there always promoting that the idea of capitalism is about making money, and that's really sad. You do yourself a disservice. You do the word of God himself a disservice when you're out there talking about capitalism is all about me. I'm a capitalist. I'm about making money. Wrong. Wrong. You can be a socialist to make money. You can be a communist to make money. Capitalism has nothing to do with actually making the money. That's not what defines capitalism. What defines capitalism is whether the government has the right to assume some of it or not. When the government decides that they are going to take ownership of industries or income that's against our Constitution, that's when it starts to affect whether it's capitalism or not. Capitalism is basically, look, you can make money in socialism, you can make money in communism, you can make money in capitalism. Now, what happens once you make the money?
Right.
That's the difference. And when you're in capitalism and you're allowed to keep the fruits of your labor, then you have more to do at your discretion as opposed to the state telling you what to do with your income. Yeah. And then from there, hey, I've got more money. I've got a surplus. What can I do with it? I have the ability to be charitable. Yes. Because the state didn't come in and take my money and decide to distribute it at their discretion. If I was smart enough to know how to earn it, I think I'm smart enough to know how to spend it. Yeah. So I think, the people will do a better job spending it than the government will.
I wish everybody agreed with you.
That. Hey, it's not even about agreeing with me. It's about agreeing with the Word of God. Yeah, this is why God is telling us, be charitable. You don't make this a law. Yeah. And the thing is, y'all, if we did more of that, this isn't to say anything bad against charity. If people were to do more against that, there would be less need for charity. Because when people have more, when they're allowed to keep more of their income, this increases their hiring power. More jobs will be available. You can hire people more. People who needed a job, people who are poor. And now you've given them a means to work their way out of their poverty. That's one less person who needs charity. You don't want to keep somebody in charity for the rest of their life. That's a person just surviving, not thriving. The Lord wants us to thrive.
They'll vote Democrat, though.
Yeah, So this is the thing that we have to be getting out there and teaching. We have to teach this stuff. Yes. Let liberals know what time it is. Counter these memes where they're going out there and they're trying to make Jesus out to be some hippie socialist. Jesus wasn't no socialist. Jesus paid taxes. No, he didn't. Jesus paid a temple tax. Jesus didn't pay state taxes. Yeah. It's like let's get it clear about what Jesus had to say about taxes. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Jesus once again called them out on hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is like, no, look at that coin. You are paying tribute to the image of a false god. You're breaking one of the 10 commandments right now. It's like, do you guys not see that? You're insulting God to his face right now by showing me a coin with the image of a false god. Yeah. It didn't have anything to do, really, Jesus answered him, didn't have much to do about paying taxes. But that's what liberals try to take it for. So we got to get in there. We got to step in and say, no, you guys are instituting the wrong thing, and you guys are grossly misinterpreting the Word of God. That is violating the commandment to not take the word of to not take God's name in vain. Yeah. All right. So what do we got now? We got, but woe to you Pharisees! You give 1/10 of mint, rue, and every kind of herb, and you bypass justice and love for God. So Jesus is like, man, you guys are you basically trying to what? You trying to pay your way into heaven or something like that? Are you talking about you trying to swag about how much I give my 10th, and I'm giving my mint and my rue and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, God's really gonna like me. It's like, no, man, you doing it wrong, doing it all wrong. That's an insult, to God. It's like, what do you think that you can? What materials do you think you can offer me? That's gonna get you one toenail into heaven. It's not even close, man. You guys, what you guys aren't teaching, you're not teaching that God loves us. The love, and you guys are teaching legalism. Yeah. So this is, and when you learn to love God, that's how you learn to love people. And I tell you what, it definitely takes the love of God sometimes to love people, because we be getting on each other's nerves. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. These things you should have done without neglecting the others. Woe to you, Pharisees! Yes, I'm saying this in your house. I'm eating your food. I'm eating your food right now. Oh, whoa. Excuse me. Whoa. Hold on a second. By the way, this is really good. This isn't bad, man. My compliments to the chef. Now, fool. Yeah. Where was I at?
Awkward.
So, Well, now don't get me wrong, guys. When you go to folks' house, be hospitable. It's like I'm the kind of person who's like, look, man, if I'm in somebody else's house, and I'm usually not a big visitor as it is. Only a couple places that I dig hanging out, and it's like if I got a disagreement with you in your house, you're just gonna be right in your house. I'm not gonna try to It's like, I may be like, well, you know what? Maybe we could talk about this later, or something like that. And you want to come over and we'll talk about it or whatnot. I'm not much for speaking, my mind so much in somebody else's house. But evidently with Jesus, like, look, he didn't have any reservations about that. And, but I guess this is an illustration of how bold, because don't get me wrong, because Jesus knows who he's talking to. It's not like he just, he decided to pick a fight with anybody. He's basically picked a fight with people who actually want to kill him anyway. Yeah. So it's not like he's just, it's like, when this person is talking about having them over for dinner and stuff like that, it's like, Jesus like, yeah, that's really nice of you. And basically you're kind of patronizing me, but yeah, I'll come on over. But ultimately I know that you guys want to kill me. So, it's not like, it isn't like Jesus is just being like rude out of nowhere. And even if despite he may be like being rude, he's telling them the truth. So it's not like he's like being rude without any redeeming value. And I'm just saying rude for lack of a better word. Jesus is he's just laying down tough love. Yeah, he's just being real with them. Right. Let's be real. So I imagine that's what you guys want, right? That's what the culture always wants. Keep it real. Yeah. Keep it real. And you obviously want me to come over here and have a discussion. So let's go ahead and talk. Let's not BS with each other. Let's not insult each other. And let's just go ahead and don't insult my intelligence and I won't insult yours. Yeah. They took it as an insult anyway. Keep it real. Keep it real. How dare you insult me? Yeah. Just be real with you. Yeah. Be real with you.
As long as you don't offend me.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, woe to you Pharisees. You love the front seat in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces. So you love all the prestige, you love all the, the self back patting and all that sort of stuff. Look at me, look how good I am. It's like, these Hollywood liberals out there, we talking about how they've gone to other countries and they're feeding people in Africa and, and they're doing stuff like that. And they want to be seen as people who are so caring and, this makes them really good people. And don't get me wrong, guys, it's good. It is good to do that. It's even better when you give thanks to Almighty God who blessed you with the talents to be able to do that, blessed you with the resources to be able to go there and do that. Because now, instead of like people trying to look at one person, it's like it divides, all of what we think is good. And then until good isn't even something it becomes passé. Because it's just divided up until we're putting all these attention on people trying to, show how good they are. And like I said, it becomes, it's like a fad. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah. But when you put your focus on God, it's like you take the attention off yourself and say, I give thanks to Almighty God for what he's been able to do through me for other people. Now that right there, that makes charity and that makes doing good something like extra. It keeps it extra special. But God says, behold, I make all things new. People at some point, people start getting tired. They start getting worn out of seeing people like, oh yeah, okay, this person is doing this. This person adopted this kid and all that sort of stuff. And why? Why did you do that? It's really not even about the taking care of a kid. It's about look how much of a good person I am. Like say for instance, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt adopted all them kids. I don't even know. Did they divorce? Are they divorced? So. They can't even stay together. You want to show that you're a good person? Why don't you guys stay together, stop acting like a bunch of numbskulls, and show some solidarity in your marriage? Well, wait a minute. They never even got married. Did they get married? I thought Brad Pitt said something. I'm not going to get married until but gay marriage, I guess, did become legal. That's what he said. He says so. I don't even know. All I know is that it seems like Brad Pitt is more interested in smoking weed than taking care of his kids.
Yeah. And being an atheist.
And the thing is, it's like, you really want to show that you solid for your kids? You want to do something good for your kids? Get over yourselves and be a happy husband and wife and show some solidarity for your kids. It ain't like you don't have the resources to do that. Right. It's like, I mean, what more do you need? What more do you need to actually appreciate life? I guess having God would help. That might be the last pick. You see these people, and that's why the Bible speaks about the rich so harshly. God doesn't mind you being rich. What he does mind is that when you assume that your security is in your wealth. Right. That's what he minds. And you see that people, they fall apart. They got their wealth, and they thought that that's what was going to save them. And they fall apart. Their marriages fall apart. Yep. They commit suicide. This is why God speaks so harshly concerning the rich. So, these people who have this stuff like that, Jesus, he frowns on them. And it's like, you guys are fakes. This is a front that you guys are putting up. Yeah. So, then he goes on to say, where we at? 44. Woe to you. You are like unmarked graves. The people who walk over them don't know it. So when Jesus is saying that, woe to you, he's really hitting home because, in their tradition, it's like, the dead, you got to pay a lot of homage to the dead. So, when Jesus tells them, woe to you, Pharisees, woe to you, you're like unmarked graves. Jesus is like, what you're saying, Jesus says, my word will sustain forever. Whatever it is that you're doing, heaven, earth, everything that you do, it's going to pass away. What you're saying even right now is empty. Yeah. It's not even worth marking. It's like, it's going to rot in the ground, and there ain't even going to be a mark on your gravestone to remember who you was. Whatever you're saying ain't even going to last. Wow. And people are going to walk over your grave, and they're not even going to know who you were. So Jesus, he's just coming down on them hard. And then from there, he says, one of the experts, and then the Bible says, one of the experts in the law answered, "Teacher, why do you say these things? You insult us too. You're insulting us." Then he said, well, also, Jesus kept on going. Jesus said, well, you're insulting us. And you'd be like, still reclining at the table. You finished? You finished with all that butt hurt? You done, right? Is that what it said? Okay, well, woe to you. Whoa.
For inviting me.
Well, I know, right? Let me see. Then he continues on and says, woe also to you experts in the law. And I imagine him, Jesus, like saying it sarcastically. Woe also to you experts in the law. You load people with burdens that are too hard to carry. Yet you yourselves don't touch these burdens with one of your own fingers. Oh, man. And the thing is because, when you get down to it, it's like Jesus is like, look, man, I'm giving you grace. And for some reason, this is the irony of it, though. This is the irony. Some people think that, this whole grace thing, all I got to do is accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior and I can get into heaven. That just sounds too easy. I don't understand that. Yeah, that's what makes it so hard. Yeah. That's a heavy, that faith basket right there is a heavy one to lift. To be able to get people to just get over themselves, get their head out of the way and say, dude, accept his offering, his grace, just accept it. I can't do that. It's too hard. Oh, it's hard. No, I thought you just said it sounds too easy. No, it's too hard. But at the same time, it shouldn't be. So Jesus is he's calling them out. It's like, look, man, you guys put these burdens, you're laying all this legalism on people. Yeah. All these laws, man. It's like, it's like back then.
Rituals and laws.
All this sort of stuff. It's like going to LA and trying to park. It's like there's this law. You got these totem poles of freaking placards. You just want to park, man, and you can't. And you're just driving around, spinning gas, getting late for your appointment, trying to find a place to park because of all these laws that doesn't make things better. And that's what Jesus is trying to tell you guys. You guys come up with all these laws. You come up with all these things that you think are going to make a better society and a better person, and it doesn't. It doesn't do that. You guys don't understand the concept of grace. Not even just my grace that I'm going to be offering you, but just grace between each other. It doesn't mean that you just let people get away with whatever it is that they're going to do. But when you're just trying to make all these penny ante laws and try to micromanage all and make all these sub laws and stuff like that to back up this law, oh man, you're just asking for people to break the law.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and this is another thing that people need to understand, like especially when it comes to law enforcement. And they want law enforcement to go out there with I guess, they want, cops to go out there and give people like back massages or something like that and coddle them and whatnot. It's like, listen, cops are not supposed to be social workers. So a social worker is a social worker. A police officer is a police officer. A police officer is not supposed to go out there and be like some sort of babysitter for people. You break the law, and the police officer is supposed to hold you, is on the street to hold you accountable for it. So that being said, when that's what people are looking for. They're looking for these police officers to do these things. And what people don't understand is that police officers and law, that's not the instrument that's supposed to be used to make a better people. Like a police officer is supposed to get out there and teach you how to be a better person. That's not the police officer's job. But that's what they want people to want them to like. They want police to be these community-oriented agents. Yes. It doesn't work. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's not the police officer's job to go out there and take responsibility to raise a community. That's supposed to start with your parents. That's where that goes. And the police is there to make sure that the laws are being obeyed. Their job is to protect the peace. But because police aren't doing that, which what they're not supposed to do, it's just supposed to be assumed that these police officers are just these mean people who are out there and they just want to beat up on and take out their nightstick and just beat on people and stuff like that. It's like, no. Police officers are not supposed to be street babysitters. The law is not meant to make you or teach you how to be a better person. Now, don't get me wrong, because there is the concept of reward and punishment. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I understand that. But to use the law as the means to teach people or condition them to abide as a good citizen in society, guys, law is not the good instrument to use for that, because you're only having people who are showing respect to you only because they're afraid of breaking the law. But if they could get away with doing what it is they're doing, they do it. That's the difference. Yeah. As opposed to having a genuine respect out of existing in a society with one another. This is what Jesus is trying to drive home. So let's see. And then 47, woe to you, you build monuments to the prophets, and your fathers killed them. Therefore, you are witnesses that you approve the deeds of your daddies, for they killed them.
Wow.
And you build their monuments. Now, just to be clear, Jesus isn't even talking about the monuments of the killers. Just in case was Jesus talking about the building monuments to their ancestors who killed the prophets? No, Jesus is talking about building monuments to the prophets, building and keeping their tombs nice and neat, and keeping them all finished, and building these monuments and stuff like that, statues and whatever. Jesus is actually talking about the prophets. Let's read it again. Woe to you, you build monuments to the prophets, and your fathers killed them. Your fathers killed the prophets. This is why Jesus he's kind of hostile towards it. He's like, look, man, because if you killed them prophets, I know you got your sights set on me, and I know there's some people who think Jesus was not a prophet. Come on, y'all. Don't try to overholy Jesus. Yes, Jesus was a prophet. Jesus was God. Jesus is God. But he was also a prophet.
He refers to himself as a prophet in Luke 12. We'll see.
He was also a prophet. Hey, thank you. He's also a prophet. He's also a teacher. He's also a carpenter. So it's like, if you give me a carpenter, he can be a prophet too. So it's like, yes, he was a prophet.
Many things.
Why? Because he spoke the truth. He spoke the word of God. So, you know, when you speak in truth, you speak the word of God, and these things come to pass, that's prophet. So yes, he was a prophet, and he's looking at this and say, look, I know that you done killed the prophets that were here before, and I know that you got your targets on me too. So yeah, I'm a little hostile towards you. So now, to put this in perspective, what does this look like? If we examine what this looks like today, we'll read it again. Woe to you, you build monuments to the prophets, and your fathers killed them. Therefore, you are witnesses that you approve the deeds of your fathers. What does this look like? Democrats killed Martin Luther King. A lot of people don't know that. They think that Martin Luther King was just killed by, you know, random white people. All white people were racist. It's like, no. Martin Luther King was jailed, harassed, and murdered by Democrats. Everything that Martin Luther King was fighting was instituted by Democrats. Now, Malcolm X, same thing. Malcolm X was killed by nationalist socialists, black nationalist socialists. He was killed by other black people, Malcolm X. Now, Democrats, how are they today? They act like they worship Martin Luther King. They act like they worship Malcolm X. They killed them. Hey, their fathers killed them. Yep. They harassed them. They jailed them. Now you have Democrats today acting like, and they build a monument to Martin Luther King. Look at us. Look how good we are.
Your feed is going, people are saying,
uh-oh.
How ironic.
How ironic?
Huh.
That my feed is going out right now?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Do I need to repeat that? Am I back?
I think so.
Am I back? Let me know. Let me know.
Looks like you are. Somebody's commenting, so yeah.
Okay, cool.
Please start again from where you were frozen.
I'm gonna back that up really quick. Sorry if this is a repeat for some of y'all, but I'm gonna say it again. 47. Jesus says, "Woe to you! You build monuments to the prophets, and your fathers killed them. Therefore, you are witnesses that you approve the deeds of your fathers." What does that look like today? Democrats. Martin Luther King was fighting against everything that the Democrats were doing. It wasn't just generally white people. If white people were racist, they chose Democrats to represent them. So the hosing, the dogs being released on them, the church bombings, the assassination of Martin Luther King, Democrats. Hey, so when this happens, and like I say, you got Democrats, it's like people still voting Democrats, and they talk about Martin Luther King. It's like they literally let the Democrat Party get away with murder.
Yeah. So
Jesus, this is an example of what Jesus is talking about, because who pays the most, or who assumes to pay the most homage to Martin Luther King today? Democrats. Their fathers are the ones who killed him, but we're different. We're the Democrat Party has changed since then. Since when? Since when? Y'all have been saying that for 50 years. The Democrat Party has changed. The liberals were conservatives. It's like, no. Malcolm X was calling y'all out then. Yeah. Before the so-called party switch, Malcolm X was calling black folks out, saying if you vote for the Democrat Party, you are a political chump and a traitor to your race. This is not paraphrasing. This is what Malcolm X said. So this is what he said. So what switch you guys talking about? There was no switch. No switch. Malcolm X called y'all out before this so-called switch. And black folks was even going over to the Democrat Party side before then.
Oh, gosh.
Totally sold out for a block of cheese and a check.
Oh.
And I don't mean to sound, condescending when I say that, but let's be real. It's like, and I only say that in response to those who call me a sellout. It's like, really? You're calling me a sellout? I'm the sellout? Because I vote conservative, because I vote Republican, I'm a sellout? Meanwhile, all it took for you was a block of cheese and a check, maybe some peanut butter?
Yikes.
So, but I'm the sellout. Okay. But this is what Jesus is talking about. You guys pay homage to these people. Meanwhile, the very people that you support are the ones who killed them.
Yes.
And this is what Jesus is talking about. Don't tell me that the Bible is not relevant to today. Anybody try to say that the Bible, it's just some old book. No, the Bible speaks to every generation, and it's speaking to us right now. All right, so let's see. Because of this, 49. Because of this, the wisdom of God said, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they will kill and persecute, so that this generation may be held responsible for the blood of the prophets shed since the foundation of the world, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who perished between the altar and the sanctuary. So what Jesus is saying is like, I'm here. I'm God. And I've proven, not only that I've proven that I'm God, I'm just constantly proving that, yeah, I'm that dude. I'm God. I'm my own prophet. And you have no excuse. None. The kingdom is before you right now. If you are standing in my space, you are standing in my kingdom. You have no excuse not to accept what it is that I'm telling you. And if you don't accept it, while looking right into the eyes of God, I will hold this generation responsible, because you have no flipping excuse whatsoever right now. None. So, and not only that, and actually, no, let me back that up real bit. I'm going to back that up. Okay? Because Jesus did come to them in human form. They weren't, this is not something that they can really put their mind around right now. They totally, so it's like they got a little bit of an excuse. But Jesus is like, well, when I get up on that cross and I come back,
yeah,
no excuse. None. And I will hold this generation responsible who saw me die and saw me come back. And if you don't get it, oh man, woe to you.
Triple woe.
Bro, triple woe. So he's saying now, so for every prophet that has perished, everything that's been going on, I will hold this generation responsible, because right now, this generation right now is seeing me. I'm God. I've come to you in the way that you can relate to the most. And if you don't get it right now, oh man, yo, we gonna have beef. We gonna have beef. All right. Let me see. And now when it comes to, now this is an interesting thing. It says, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah. Now there's a couple of Zechariahs that the Bible's going to mention. There's kind of like a little bit midway through, and then there's kind of coming towards the latter. So, for those who say that there's a contradiction, because it says that this Zechariah was the son of, we got Ben Jehoiada, and the son of, Berechiah. Okay? So, but the Bible makes a distinction about who these different Zechariahs are. And it's going to make sure to mention the later Zechariah, because it's basically Jesus, it's him basically saying, from every prophet that you persecuted and killed between Abel and Zechariah. So he's going to kind of do a summation of all the prophets
Zechariah
right there.
Was the last one. Okay?
Basically, he's like pointing out, you guys got a track record. You got a track record for for killing prophets. And I know that you guys got me targeted for next.
Yeah.
But just want to make that clear. Now, the other interesting thing that he says is that Abel is, Jesus calls Abel a prophet. Well, when did Abel prophesy? When? Let's see. If I could, I hope I can find it like simply. I should have this stuff marked, but I just be winging it. I just break open my Bible and start tripping with y'all. I'll be like, Jesus, take the wheel. I don't know where I'm going with this. You just go ahead and determine the study. But if we look at this exchange between Cain and Abel, let me see. I'm almost there, I think.
4.
Was it 4? We got 4. Okay, right here. Can we bear with me. I'm going to make an assumption. Yes, Genesis. I better know what's in Genesis.
That's a good point.
Okay. All right. So now, bear with me. And once again, guys, we do this so it's like so you guys say, that doesn't square. That's what we hear. Iron sharpens iron. I'm just sharing my observations with y'all. But I want to share this with you guys. Let's assume that when Cain murders Abel, it's probably because Abel, what he was saying to him, it was God speaking through Abel. Bear with me on this. Okay, let's read it. Let's read from 3. Genesis 4:3. In the course of time, and for anybody who just might have like picked up on this, the reason why I'm reading Genesis 4:3 is because in Luke 11, Jesus refers to Abel as a prophet, and we're just trying to understand, what did Abel prophesy? And so that's why we're going from Luke 11:51, and we're just going to see what we can pull out of where it says, from the blood of Abel. No, actually, let me back it up. So this is where Jesus says in 50, so that this generation may be held responsible for the blood of all the prophets shed since the foundation of the world, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah. So he includes him as a prophet. Now, what does it say in here? If we read from Genesis 4:3, in the course of time, Canaan presented some of the land's produce as an offering to the Lord. I'm glad you got around to it, Cain. Grew some whatever you grew and gave you.
He ate the best first, right? Then brought it to the Lord.
And let me see. Cain presented some of the Lord's land's produce as an offering to the Lord, and Abel also presented an offering, some of the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. The Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but he did not have regard for Cain and his offering, because he saw this Cain, man, you're lazy and you're selfish, man. It's like, dude, whatever it is that you got, man, you got it because I'm the creator of it. The ground yields certain things. Well, not certain things. The ground yields everything. Because I programmed it to. I'm the program writer for everything, for all this stuff to happen. So it's like, least you can do, man. You show me a little more. You can show me a little better things than that, man. Okay, so. But he did not have regard for Cain and his offering. Cain was furious, and he was downcast. So he was depressed because of this, man. He was broke. He broke because of this, just spoiled. Then the Lord said to Cain. Now here's where we get into it. Okay, 6. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you furious, and why are you downcast? If you do right, won't you be accepted? But if you do not do right, sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it." And real quick, y'all. So, we're not totally sin isn't supposed to be our master. We're supposed to master it. How do you do that? You do that with God. Yep. Can't master sin by yourself. Nope. It takes God to do it.
Sure does.
You must master it. Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out in the field." So right there, there's this kind of like, all of a sudden he's talking to Abel. Now, who knows? Maybe sometime when maybe he was out there chilling with God. Cain. I think it's an interesting thought that because God talked to Adam and Eve. Why not talk to Cain? And he does end up talking to Cain.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't God talking directly to Cain. This is what I'm trying to get to. So from right here, God says, "But you must master it." Cain said to his brother Abel. So what I'm trying to get to is, was it Cain like having a conversation with God, and God is telling him this stuff, and then Cain goes to Abel and says, "Hey man, let's go out into the field," or because Jesus calls Abel a prophet, was it Abel saying to Cain the whole time? Was it Abel saying was it God putting the words? Because we know that God does this. Was God putting the words into Abel to prophesy to Cain? I'm asking this because Jesus refers to Abel as a prophet. And it's the only speaking that I know that Abel does in the Bible. Unless somebody knows something different, I don't know. This is the only time I know that Abel speaks. And so, and here Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." And they were in the field, and Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. So is this an instance where Abel is speaking the Lord's truth to Cain, and Cain's like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds really good, man. Hey, you know what? Let's go out to the field, man." And and just while he's out there, kills Abel for saying to Cain, for Abel for saying, what the Lord had put in his mouth to say. Is that a possibility? And once again, guys, I'm not pulling this out of thin air. I'm only asking this because Jesus referred to Abel as a prophet. So I wanted to point that out. And then after he's killed, that's when God is like, whoa, now that I think about it, hold on. God says, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. And we had talked about this before when we were in Genesis. But in light of Jesus referring to Abel as a prophet, it's like, look, if God can hear the cry of the blood of Abel, if the blood of Abel speaks, then why couldn't God speak through Abel and prophesy to Cain? And we know that that's what God does. That's what makes a prophet, is God speaking through you. You're speaking truth. You're speaking you're speaking truth that is happening, and you're speaking truth that is going to come to pass. So that's why Jesus probably called Abel a prophet. Just some speculation there. And I don't think that I'm pulling that out of nowhere. I'm only basing that on what Jesus referred to him as. Okay? So let's see. Now let's take it from 52, just a sentence before 52. Yes, I tell you, this generation will be held responsible. Woe to you, experts in the law. You have taken away the key of knowledge. You didn't go in yourselves, and you hindered those who were going in. So what is it? I would posit that the key of knowledge is fear of God. Fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Now, why do I say that here? Because these Pharisees, the people aren't afraid of God. They're afraid of them. Oh. Pharisees, they lay down the law on people. And if you don't do these laws, man, you're going to pay a penalty. And you see how quick they're getting ready to like kill somebody. They want to kill somebody. And, they're going to the governor and say, we want to kill them. And so you know that they'll be arresting people on the drop of a hat. So Jesus is telling us, look, man, you guys don't get it. You guys don't fear. It's not God that you fear. You want people to fear you. Yeah. You've totally intruded on true knowledge and wisdom. You've intruded on that. Wow. Not only that, you guys don't understand grace. You don't understand love. You don't get any of that stuff. What you understand is your prestige and your money and making sure that people stay afraid of you. Man, you guys are like a bunch of Democrats. You're legalistic. You want people to feel guilty all the time. You never let this stuff, you never let this stuff go. And you stay on people's backs all the time. And you think that somehow this is going to make a better society. And it doesn't. So Jesus is calling them out for that. You guys are totally, it's like right now. How do we apply that today? Look at our school system. Look at our universities. Look, our colleges, our universities, our K through 12. And what do they want to do? They want to do away with the fear of God, and they want to teach the religion of environmentalism and the religion of evolution. That's what they want to teach. Socialism. And what does this do? What does this do? It subtract. It's meant to subtract away from the fear of God. And the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And when you take away the fear of God, well, that means that you're only going to get foolish people. That's why you have people out there in the street. You have guys out there in the street thinking that they're girls. Yeah. Because that's what else can you get? When you don't have proper knowledge. If you don't have fear of God, how are you going to apply good knowledge?
Yeah, they only have school smarts, book smarts.
Informed. But are they practical? No. You have these people who want to be educated. I want to go to college and be educated. Educated for what? So I can make more money for stuff that I think that should be free. This is, this stuff, they don't have practical sense. Oh, because when you lose fear of God, you lose a sense of practicality. So that's what God is trying to tell them. It's like, look, man, you guys are teaching that. That's how this applies to today. This is what they were doing the same things back then. You're not teaching people to fear God. You're only teaching people to fear you. And that's how Democrats work. Fear. Constantly making people afraid. You better not tick off the professor or you'll fail your class. Fear. Or I'll sit by idly while the students ridicule you on campus. Fear. It's like that's what they want. They want to choose what it is that you're going to fear, and they use that for their ideals of what they think the world should be.
Yeah.
So is the Bible reading us right now? Yes, it is. Totally.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then when he left there, and Jesus like, and you know what? And I'm going to say this to your face. And when I leave, you guys going to gossip about me. But I'll at least you the dignity of saying it to your face. All right. All right. So when Jesus left there, the scribes and the Pharisees began to oppose him fiercely. Now they're getting fierce. To cross-examine him about many things. They were lying in wait to trap him in something that he said. Just couldn't, just all the time. It's like today with all the race baiting. Anything that you do, racist,
yeah.
Trying to trap them in something, right? Look at how they're and before anybody's saying, you're comparing Trump to Jesus. No, I'm not. I'm illustrating how the Bible speaks to all generations.
Yes.
You see it right now. No matter what, it's like Democrats. That's what they do. That's part of the propaganda. Lying in wait constantly. I'm waiting to charge you for something.
Yes,
I'm waiting to accuse you of something. They are like their father, the devil, the accuser. That's what Satan means. The accuser.
Yep. Constantly
accusing. All the time. Prosecute. All the time. They never stop.
Yep.
So, and the Bible, this Bible's telling us this is how they do. So, all right, y'all. That is chapter 11.
Before we get out of here real quick,
yeah.
Can you, Carl Starkey asks, what did Abel say / prophesy? Can you kind of clear that up a little bit?
Okay. Let me go flip on back here.
We're just assuming that's what happened because
so what
Cain
now?
got mad at him for some reason.
Okay, so here's the deal. It was Carl, right?
Yes.
Now, and that's what I was asking, Carl. I was like, does Abel say anything else? Do we know of any other dialogue that Abel has in the Bible? I don't know. Somebody may also find it. If you know of a verse, please include it. But I don't know of any other verses where Abel is speaking. But in here, it says, wait, I lost chapter 4. Let me get back to it. Dang it. You should know all of chapter 4 by heart, Zoe. No, come on, man. Give me a break. Okay. What I'm saying is, you had Jesus, who included Abel as a prophet, whereas we were just reading Luke. And he says from Luke to Zechariah. So he includes...
From Abel.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I was reading in Luke, and we have Abel, who he includes in these line of prophets. So if Jesus says that Abel was a prophet, well, what did he say? Where is this? I'm asking the same thing you are. What is it that Abel said that would make him a prophet? Where's the demonstration? And that's why I'm speculating that right here where it says, let's take it from Genesis 4:4. And Abel also presented an offering, some of the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. The Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but he did not have regard for Cain and his offering. Cain was furious and was downcast. Now, okay, bear with me right here. This is where I'm speculating that Abel prophesied. The next line says, then the Lord said to Cain, meaning that the Lord spoke through Abel. He spoke through him and told him truth. Then the Lord said, because it's the only other instance where I could think of where Abel could have been speaking or making a prophecy. It must have been the Lord speaking through Abel. Now, if I read further, it'll make even a little bit more sense. Then the Lord said to Cain, why are you furious? And why are you downcast? If you do right, won't you be accepted? But if you do not right, sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must master it. Is this not the Lord's truth? Yes. Now what's next? Cain said to his brother, let's go out to the field. So what I'm saying is that this dialogue, this is God speaking through Abel. Because Cain is like, he's tripping. And he's like, man, you know, why does God treat me like this? What makes you so much better what makes you so much better than me? And then Abel says, well, look, man, if you do right, dude, you know, you'll be accepted. So it's Abel. Let's assume that Abel is telling Cain these things that he doesn't want to hear. That's why prophets get killed.
Yep.
For telling people what they don't want to hear, what they need to hear. So let's say that Abel was the one conveying the message of the Lord to Cain. Cain was offended by it, said, yo, man, won't you take a walk with me out into the field? And went upside his head while he was out there. They got into a fight or something. Because Cain was lit, he was mad. So it wasn't like, it doesn't seem like that Cain was off somewhere talking to God and then he came over to Abel. It's almost like when you read with Adam and Eve, and you think that this serpent is talking to Eve and Adam is somewhere wandering around in the garden. No, he wasn't wandering around in the garden. He was standing right there. That's what the Bible says. Adam was with her. Adam was with Eve while the snake was talking to her. He let this whole thing happen. So it's like some of those things that you might not pick up on, but it's like you look at it and say, oh, snap. Adam was right there. And in this right here, it's possible that Cain was right there because it says, sin is crouching at your door. Its desires for you. You must master it. Cain said to his brother, let's go out to the field. It's like right there. So it's probably Abel speaking to Cain. That's why I'm saying that's probably why Abel prophesied based on Jesus himself referring to Abel as a prophet. Right? I hope that makes sense. I hope that wasn't like, you know, more confusing than it was enlightening.
I think it cleared it up.
All right.
I want to ask you about, you know, I love a good discussion on evolution.
Oh, boy.
Mike Prater.
What's up, Mike?
He says, I was just thinking about evolution earlier, but my thought was, even if we came from slime or whatever, why would we have to evolve from a monkey? Why not just be created?
Yeah, you know, and I think I heard this one. Thanks, Mike. Indeed, man. And you know, I think it was a comedian, or maybe it was a comedian or a pastor, one of those Christian comedians. And it was, you know, the way that, you know, evolution from this primordial ooze that, you know, we supposedly evolved from, the way that it's been worded and how it's been presented plays to people's sense of wanting to see that they're subscribing to a sense of sophistication. You know, they're in the know. He says that stuff wouldn't have flew if people were told, you know, today that, you know, we evolved from a magic soup. Yeah. So he said, no, you got to get down to, like, you know, the enzymes combining to make a first protein, and then you got to have the spark of light and all that sort of stuff. It's like, you know, evolution, you know, for all the plagiarizing that people think that the Bible does, it's like, no, you guys are plagiarizing the Bible. The Bible told you that. It's like you guys are talking about, let's see, in order to have this ooze, and in order to have this medium and stuff like that, well, you're going to need water. The Bible already told you that. As a matter of fact, you know, when the Bible opens up, when it's talking about the face of the deep that God is hovering over, the breakdown of that whole instance is that God is hovering over a sludge. It's a wasteland. It's just, the earth is just it's like a goop of organic snot. It's water, but it's a whole bunch of, it's waste. It's just organic material that was just in it, possibly even dead. Now that's a whole nother discussion. I was trying to avoid saying dead things because people say there was no death before Adam and Eve. It's like, that's not true. Okay? Adam and Eve didn't give birth to death. The transgression of Adam and Eve allowed death into the world, but death didn't begin with them. Right. But that being said, now when we're talking about a primordial ooze, well, we're going to need water and we're going to need some earth. The Bible already told you that. Need water. Need earth, you're gonna need air, and then God's, and also in there, God includes let there be light. So and it was a spark of light. Well, God already said all that stuff. You guys are plagiarizing God. I think one of the books was it Stealing from God? Yes. Was that Frank Turek?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I can borrow that phrase, stealing from God, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're stealing from God. So in this evolution, you know, once in oh man, talk about having faith in something. That was another book. I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. Great book. You know, I recommend it. But you know, that's absolutely right. It's like you're gonna put this faith in evolution, something that you can observe that was back then, and you know, especially these things that they say that we evolved from or share the same ancestry with. It's like, how are we able to still see the, you know, some of these things today? You can't do that. And I think it's very interesting. I don't see why it's so hard to understand when God says that we were made from the dust of the earth. Why is that so hard to put your mind around? When you look at dirt, pretty much everything that is found in dirt, you're going to find in everything living.
Yeah.
Everything that we need to sustain our existence comes from the earth. Why is it so hard to understand that we were made from it? So it's like your fruits, your vegetables, and then the animals that need to process that, and we process and we consume them and stuff like that. All that stuff is given up from the earth. So why is it so complicated to understand that that's what we were made from? Yeah. And just, if I may, God makes it very clear that he made us from the dust of the earth. So when you have these scientists that are looking for water on other planets and stuff like that, well, God had already told you that you need water, but the missing element that you guys aren't able to really get down to that facilitates life, it's me. I can make man out of the dust of the earth because I am the key ingredient for life.
Amen. Okay, one more quick question. I know you'll like this one.
Oh boy! Thanks for the topic, Mike. Right on, man.
Yes, I love that topic. Anytime, anywhere, evolution. Okay, Chad Gailey. Old school Christian rock. Have you ever heard of Deliverance or White Cross or listened to them?
Let's see, Deliverance. That sounds familiar. I remember some. And forgive me for throwing out other names. I know you're asking about these specifically, but could White Cross also, would that be Neon Cross? I've heard of Neon Cross.
Oh, yeah.
White Cross, I'll have to look them up. Deliverance, and I've heard of bands like Petra, and of course there was Striper. You know, those old school Christian rock bands. But yeah, man, thank you. I'll check them out. I'll dig into it a little bit more. I was never really much of like a like in maybe like 80s. I was more 80s underground metal, I guess. Well, when you did Christian rock, yeah, you can't get more underground than that because it definitely wasn't mainstream. But I wasn't so much into like more like mainstream, like, you know, what was called metal. I wasn't too much like into the sounds like Judas Priest, that kind. I wasn't into that kind of metal or Iron Maiden. I know this is sacrilege to some people. It's like, don't get me wrong. It's like I wasn't like, ew, Judas Priest, ew, Iron Maiden. It's like, no, I dug it, but I didn't dig it like I dug like metal, like say for instance like Metallica or Anthrax, Megadeth, Nuclear Assault. That was the metal that I was into. Testament, you know, all these, you know, heathens back then. Megadeth, they're, you know, Dave Mustaine is an outspoken Christian now. But you know, back then, you know, these guys were like, you know, a bunch of heathens, and but that was yeah, I was into more like the thrash and speed metal. You know, I was into that, and that wasn't more of like I don't know if you're if White Cross, I don't know if that was that kind of vibe. Like I said, it wasn't I didn't like it. That just wasn't like my favorite kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, thanks, man. What else?
Ooh, here's a nice compliment from Zell. You were, what, like maybe 12 years old in the 80s?
Oh, actually, right now, that still makes me kind of old. But yeah, but thank you, man. Exactly. Oh, and you know what? Speaking of which, if I may, guys, keep me in your prayers, and I want to be able to offer a little bit of celebration, not a little bit of celebration. I want to give thanks to God Almighty because the 20-Pound Sledge album, it's been done. I've had all the instruments, the instrumentation's been done, but now it's all mixed in. You know, mixing, that's like auditory chemistry, guys. It's you know, really trying to balance everything out to make the sound, you know, comprehensive and everything in its place and stuff like that. So all the instrumentation is mixed in. So I'm really excited because you know, if I may toot my own horn, it's like, you know, the Lord is giving me, the album sounds great, guys. I am so thankful for what the Lord has inspired me to do with the new 20-Pound Sledge album. Like I said, the instrumentation's been done for a minute. It was just getting the mixing. So please keep in the prayers, guys, that the Lord will deliver the right singer.
Yes.
For 20-pound sledge. It's like I've gone through about 3 singers and who didn't quite get the vision, or just thought the 20-pound sledge was going to be, you know, something else. And it's like, no, please understand what 20-pound sledge is and what its purpose is. It's not about us. It's about Him.
It's a ministry.
Yeah, we wanted that the purpose of 20-pound sledge is to rock the gospel. We're out there to get out there and sledge against the liberal narrative that keeps trying to turn people eyes away from God and being selfish. So please keep 20-pound sledge in your prayers, that the right players. I need a singer, guitarist, and a guitarist. Keep us in your prayers. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. And is that it? Are we good?
Well, we could go all night.
We can go.
However long you want to go.
But I know some of y'all you're on the East Coast. It's late there. It's like 10. Got to get up in the morning.
Oh, what about Colombo?
And we got Colombo and cheeseburgers. So I'll let you guys go ahead and get to your evening. Thank you so much for hanging out. And remember, y'all, the message is free. Delivering it's not. If you want to leave a tip for the trip, please visit my website, alfonsorachel.com. I really appreciate it. It helps to, it makes it a little easier to keep this going.
Lights on.
All right. So be that blessing. All right, y'all. Good night.
Have a wonderful week.